Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the City Guys podcast. Sorry, it's been a while since our last upload. We've both been busy with finals and school and all that, but we're back here. And instead of a normal episode, we kind of wanted to do a State of the Union address of sorts. Kind of we're about a third of the way through the season, so we thought we'd do kind of a recap of everything that's happened and kind of our thoughts and predictions for the rest of the way through. And we'll briefly talk about the three matches that have happened since our last episode. So, Varun, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself? How we doing today?
Uh, Fine. I'm glad finals are over with.
Yeah,
It's a huge relief, but
yeah. I mean,
um,
yeah,
uh,
we're both back home now, so we'll try to get some more in-person videos in now.
uh,
I mean, like we've been kind of stuck behind a computer screen for the past like couple months. I don't think we've done the City Guys podcast in person before ever, so hopefully that
no, I
changes.
don't think so.
We can try that, see how that works. Um, but yeah,
Uh,
anyways, I mean, let's talk. How about let's start with last week's game here. Facing San Diego at home, St. Louis City did come out. I mean, we lost the game 2-1 with like a 91st minute goal from Kyle Hebert. I mean, what did you think of this
mhm.
game? Like, let's just quickly touch on this before we talk about everything else here.
I mean, the only thing that's been stressing me out more than my finals recently has been St. Louis City. I mean, it has kind of been brutal to watch at times. Because I feel like it's the same thing every week. I feel like there's really been no significant improvements with this squad. Um, and I mean, just talking about the Seattle game as well. I was at a week ago at this point.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Um, I think that was by far the worst game of the season. I mean, we just got absolutely manhandled in that game. It was just brutal to watch. And I don't know. It's just these last two league games. I mean, things just have not gotten any better for St. Louis City, and
no,
it's just been hard to watch, to be honest. But I mean, I don't really have anything new to say about this team that we haven't been saying all year long, and that's the frustrating part about it is just things have not gotten better in the slightest
no.
since the start of the year.
Yeah, I mean, we came out at the start of the season, with, I mean, cautiously optimistic. I mean, like, new manager, new scheme, new everything, basically. I mean, we came with new players. I mean, let's talk about the biggest thing here. I mean, we have a new manager, Olaf Melberg. What, coming in 12 games into the season, including, what, maybe 13, 14, including some cup games? What, 13, including that Union Omaha game? What are your
Yeah.
thoughts on Olaf Melberg midway, like a third of the way into the season? What are your thoughts?
Well, I was talking about this with my dad the other day, and I think he said it himself, so I'll give him credit for this. But Melberg is the type of manager who gets appointed by like a European team to help them like avoid relegation. Like that's the type of manager he is, and I feel like he's brought that kind of same philosophy and playing style to the MLS, where there's really no point because there is no relegation in the MLS. Because that's basically what he was in Sweden. I mean, he brought a
Yeah,
team that had like the lowest budget in the league and helped them stay up and not get relegated in Sweden, and that's why he got hired. I mean, that was kind of his CV for them. So I don't know. He's kind of brought that ultra conservative, ultra defensive playing style, where we're not really going to try and win games, but we're not, we're trying to get a point from every game. Like we're just trying to draw. And that's just not helpful in the MLS because a draw doesn't really do too much for you when you're trying to make the playoffs. And that's the kind of frustrating thing about it is that I just don't think his philosophy overall. I'm not a big fan of it. Yes, the defending has gotten a lot better than it was at the end of last year, but at the expense of the attack. And
yeah,
I mean, just thinking about last year, how bad of a season that was. Um, I still think that team was better than the team is currently. And I think
yeah,
the end of last season too, when after Carnell got fired and Hackworth was kind of the interim manager, like that end of season team, they weren't the best team in the world, but they were okay. I mean, they were about 500 at the end of the last 10 games of the season, and they were fun to watch. Like they were scoring goals, they were an entertaining team, and they were conceding a lot. They didn't win a ton of games, but they were better. They were a better team than they are right now. And honestly, maybe more importantly, they were at least fun to watch. Like this team is just not fun to watch. Like it is brutal to sit down and watch this team for 90 minutes.
I
And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Like this is supposed to be entertaining, and this
Yeah.
is not entertaining at all.
No, I completely agree. I mean, I'm not a fan of the five in the back here. At the like
Hmm.
it, it might not be like a problem with his tactics in a way. I mean, it might just be like St. Louis City's players in general. Like our players are not suited to be playing five in the back. I guess. I mean, we do have wingbacks, like players who are wingbacks. Like I mean, Jaden Reed is like a well suited wingback. Akil Watts could be a well suited wingback. Thomas Totland is a wingback. I mean, all these players like I don't know. Like I'm not a huge fan of the wingbacks here with St. Louis City in a sense, just because nobody else seems to be doing anything. Like it kind of just like opens up our midfield, and we just kind of get tossed around in that midfield. Like I I don't know, but yeah, I completely agree with you. I mean that hack ball was literally just chaos on the pitch. So I mean, it was really entertaining to watch. We were scoring 4+ goals every game somehow, but we're also conceding 4 goals. I mean, it was super entertaining, but I don't know. Like what do you think? Like, do you think Melberg's in the hot seat right now? Like, I think I asked you this question a couple weeks ago, and you said no.
Yeah,
But have your thoughts changed, or are they still the same here?
a little bit. I mean, obviously things have not gotten better at all since then, which I kind of thought they would at least get a little bit better as time went on and players gelled a little bit more with the system. But it's pretty clear, in my opinion, that this system is just does not suit the team and the personnel that we have. And I don't think he's necessarily going to get fired. I would be pretty surprised if he got fired during the middle of the season, unless like we just don't win a game for the next like 2 months or something crazy like that. Because I just don't see City making that drastic of a change that quickly. But I mean, if we continue on the path we're on and we finish, 12th or 13th in the Western Conference, like I could 100% see him get fired at the end of the year, and I would honestly hope he does because I mean that means this team has shown no improvement from last season. In fact, we've actually regressed. We've gotten worse as a team. I wasn't the biggest fan of Melberg when they hired him in the first place. I thought that he was kind of a little unproven, but I was optimistic, and he's done great things with the defense. But is it necessarily good defensive tactics, or is it parking the bus for 90 minutes? More of the reason we don't concede very many goals, because
Yeah,
it doesn't matter if you don't concede if you never score. Like,
yeah. I mean, there was a lot of problems like at the start of the season. I know that we talked about where he kind of like refused to like sub in any attackers. Like we're playing what 8 defensive minded players like earlier on in the season.
mm,
And like I mean, we had problems with that. Like we talked about that problem earlier on. Um but it kind of seems like he switched around and like he actually does like he has been giving more attacking players chances. I mean like Pompeyu's been
mhm,
playing a lot more games. Klaus has been finally starting, but things have not improved. And I mean, one of like my kind of like big things I want to pick on Melberg about is why are we benching Pompeu? I know he did come out and say that Pompeu is in like competition with other players for that role, which I don't know like what's going on in training. Like is Pompeu given full effort, or are other players just given more effort? Are they just better during training, like more hardworking? So is Melberg out here rewarding hard work, I guess, over like the natural skill on players? So I'm not sure what's going on in training, but I mean, it kind of seems like every time Pompeu comes on, the game just changes completely. Like, I mean, we go from a team that's just sitting there parking the bus to a team that actually gets chances on. Shots on net here and there. Hopefully, I mean, in the future, I want to see Pompeu start more. I mean, he is really good, and I mean, like, he should not be benched. And I mean, I really do like this new addition with John Day Silva coming from Atlanta, just because like he's another basically Pompeu type of player. Like he kind of suits in on that right wing role. He's fast. He can take
Mm.
on players, which I really do like. I really do like to see us finally taking on players, taking on defenders, and creating chances instead of just passing backwards back to the fullbacks. So, I mean, I don't really know. I mean, John De Silva is still pretty new to this team, so he doesn't really know. Like, he doesn't kind of. I mean, he's still pretty new, so he doesn't really know how to like exactly fit in with this team yet. But Celio, I feel like has not been kind of rewarded, I guess, in a way this season. I don't know like how to say it, but I feel like he's kind of underutilized, I guess, in a way, by Melberg right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's still early on since he's got to the team, so it's obviously pretty hard to tell. But I don't know. I could see him as a pretty important piece going forward because I mean he does offer kind of a unique profile, and I think it was a pretty decent trade when they got him in terms of the value. So I don't know. We're gonna have to see. But I think one of my big questions, and kind of one of the things I look for, or looking ahead at the squad is there's some pretty glaring changes I think that need to be made with the team itself, um, with this upcoming transfer window because, um, like I just part of it is the tactics. I'm not a big fan of Melberg's system, but honestly, like players have just not been performing, who were played in key positions. And obviously, like striker, we've talked about that to death at this point. But it hasn't gotten any better, and it's frustrating because the attack was so good at the end of last season, and it's the same players that were, Toy Hurt was phenomenal at the end of last season. He's had his moments. I mean, that goal that he scored, I think it was LAFC, that he scored against, was probably the goal of the season so far. Maybe that Leuven free kick as well, but that was one of the best attacking moments I think we've had all year.
Yeah.
But he was really phenomenal um, when he got to the team at the end of last season, and he has definitely taken a step back. It feels like Simon Becker was also scoring goals like crazy at the end of last year, and that production has fallen off. Albeit, I think that has more to do with the team around him producing less chances than it does with Becker himself. Because I think a lot of his goals last year were more products of other players creating chances for him. But a big one I feel like has been Marcel Hartl, who was legitimately the best player on this team and was supposed to be the best player on the team coming into this season. Or at least I thought so. Because I mean, he was like the best player in Bundesliga 2. He chose to come to City, was phenomenal at the end of last season, and he has just been hit or miss at times this year. But even when he's played well, it hasn't been to the level that we really expected. Like his best performances this season don't even compare to his best performances from the end of last year.
Yeah.
And I do think they try to plan him a little deeper in the midfield at the start of the year, and they've been moving him up, which has been better for him because I feel like that's where he belongs. When he's, further up on the pitch, either as a winger or number 10, he's way better than when he's playing deeper in the midfield. Um, but again, I would have just liked to see a lot more from him. But I think when looking at the summer transfer window and significant changes for the squad, it's striker, obviously, because I just don't think it's been like nearly good enough. Um, and I also think potentially getting a new number 6, kind of that Leuven role,
Yeah.
because
Okay. Yeah.
the harsh reality, I love Leuven. He's my favorite player on the team, but he has just not been very good these last couple years. And it sucks to say because he was such a phenomenal player and such a fun player to watch in that first season. And he's had moments as well. And I know he has all that personal issues going on, which has probably affected his play a little bit. And he's definitely missed a few games because of it. But I just don't think he's reliable enough or even good enough when he's on the pitch to be the starting, number 6 for this team and be one of the star players for this team. And that's kind of just the harsh reality of it, in my opinion. And I think at this point, it's needed for City to go to the transfer market and try and pick up another midfielder to fill that role.
I completely agree. And I mean, yeah, it kind of sucks to see like I mean, Klaus has scored what 2 goals in the past like about a year, so
Yeah.
I mean, like seeing Klaus score that goal on that Wednesday night game versus Union Omaha, it really like I was super excited to see that because Klaus came on, he played like 15 minutes and he scored a pretty good goal. I mean, it was like a outside of the box, went bottom corner. I mean, I was really hoping that Klaus would build off of that. Hopefully, he kind of does build off of that, but yeah, going into the summer transfer window, we need that nine. Like, we need an
Mhm.
actual striker. I mean, I do also think that our injury situation is not really helping us. I mean, we're out with Durkin's out, Berkey's out. I mean, I think JGR is out as well. We're losing Kessler, a couple other pieces. I think Nielsen's out, Tolan's out. So, I mean, we are losing a lot of key players in key roles on this team. So, I guess like I would like to see us see how we perform. I guess with our full strength squad. I mean, most of them should be coming back. What within the next 1 week, 2 week? I know Berkey's healthy. He had a pretty. I think he has a pretty good chance of playing on Wednesday actually against Kansas City. So
Mhm.
I think that if we can finally if we get all those players back, all those key role players back, I feel like that'll be a pretty good estimate, I guess, in a way to see like I don't know how we perform like going into these next couple weeks. I don't know.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I thought I've been thinking the goaltending though hasn't even been that bad from City. Um, like Ben Lute's been very solid. Um, since he's made mistakes, and I do think Berkey coming back will be a positive for the team. But I just think like the injuries that we've had, like Totelin's injury has been massive for the team, because he was supposed to be one of these key players, for the squad, especially with that wingback role that Melberg plays with. Like not having him there was pretty brutal, for the stretch of games that he missed. Um, and so I do think injuries obviously have played a part in City's struggles this year, but at the same time, like we've had most of our key players, I feel like, play decent amounts. I mean, Leuven's missed a few games, um, but I don't know. It's just I don't know. I don't even know. Like the frustrating thing is you can't really like prescribe a specific issue to the squad because like personnel wise, I like these players individually. Like most of these players, I would have rated pretty highly individually going into the season, and the scheme itself should have worked better. You
Yeah,
know, because this is a team we've been good on the counterattack these last couple of seasons, and that's kind of what we've been hoping for is we'd be able to score some goals off the counterattack to make up for a lack of like a traditional possession based attack, but that just has not happened at all. So it's just very frustrating because I don't really know how to fix. I don't think it's a simple like change a couple things, and it's fixed. Like I think the whole thing is kind of rotten right now. I don't know.
yeah. I kind of feel like the entire club's just in shambles right now. I mean, like I feel like kind of we're really just underperforming in every position basically. I mean, even the defense the past couple weeks has been really shaky in my opinion. I mean, that Seattle game really showed how defensively
Mm-hmm.
bad we were. I mean, in a way, like we couldn't create anything on attack, and I mean that's not helping the defense at all. When I mean you're literally just like letting in like easy like I mean like you're taking a heavy touch. A player on the opposition just comes in and steals the ball from you and then shoots it and scores. Like this literally happened last week against San Diego, or yeah, literally like 2 days ago versus San Diego, where Josh Yarrow, I mean, he really just had a really bad touch. I mean, you can't really blame him for that one mistake. I mean, but I feel like it's just kind of everything is just going wrong for City here. We really just had to clean everything up here. Like I don't know, like a total like everything, man. Everything's gone. Everything's gone to shit right now.
Yeah, I it's just I don't know. It's so frustrating because I really thought we had such a like positively optimistic kind of ending to last year, and I really thought things would be better going into this season, but it's only gotten worse. So I don't know. Here's my question though. And this is kind of what I wanted to get at with the theme of the video. What do you think realistically could happen from here for City to have like a successful season in your mind at this point? Like, what's a realistic goal for St. Louis City to accomplish that would change your mind about how the season was going?
I
Because I
mean,
was thinking about I was thinking
yeah.
about like Man United and Spurs and like two teams that have having like historically awful seasons in the Prem, but they've had their runs in the Europa League,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
have kind of in a way made up for those like awful seasons. So I was like, what would be the St. Louis City equivalent to that?
I mean, I feel like one we really need to focus on the Open Cup here. Like 100%,
Mhm.
we need to go all out in this Open Cup. Like, I mean, the teams that we're going up against are not that great, and I really don't think like St. Louis as a whole, like as a fan base, we've been pushing for our team to be playing in the Lamar Hunt Open Cup. So I think that like City should just give it their all and actually try to like perform, try to actually place pretty well in this cup. Like I'd be happy if we
Mhm.
reached like semifinals. I think would be like an absolute win for this team. If I'm being completely honest,
Mhm.
if we were to reach the semifinals of the Open Cup, even the final, like I mean, like even if we lose in the final, I think that's still a W from St. Louis City. But I mean,
Mhm.
like going back to the league, we are what we're sitting in a really bad spot. We're what 12th, 13th right now. Looking at the table,
Yeah.
we are sitting at 13th place with 10 points, 2 wins, 4 draws, 6 losses. That is really bad. Um, like the two other teams that are worse than us right now are Houston and LA Galaxy. LA Galaxy has not won a single game this year. So, I mean, if we lose to Kansas City is currently tied with us on points as well. But I feel like at this point, a realistic goal for us, if we're trying to actually have like a salvageable season, is finishing maybe eight or ninth in the Western and try to sneak into that last playoff spot. I think that would be
Mm.
a I don't know, like a way we can salvage the season in a way, I guess. And I mean, even if we go out in the first round in the playoffs, I think that if we make that jump from 13th place to 8th or ninth, I feel like that's still a decent progression for this team at least. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I mean, when I was thinking of the Man United Spurs kind of like equivalent to that, it would have been through the US Open Cup.
Yeah.
And it's not a crazy like
No.
um unrealistic goal for City either because with the Open Cup it's only the worst teams from the teams that missed the playoffs from the MLS last year are playing in the Open Cup.
Hold on.
So
Yeah.
it's
But like the only one issue that I had to mention about the Open Cup is that we are playing
yeah.
Minnesota next, and they are the
Yeah, I
second
was
best
gonna
team
mention that.
in the West. Yeah, go on, go on.
Yeah,
My bad. Yeah,
we do have a hard fixture against Minnesota coming up, but I mean, it's I believe 15 of the 16 teams remaining too are MLS
they're
clubs. I
all
want to
MLS
say,
teams. Yeah, most of
yeah.
them
So
are.
it's like, yeah, it's a little brutal, but yeah, I think like if we made a run to like the semifinals or the finals of that competition, that would be huge. I feel like to build off of, um, because at the end of the day, like, yeah, making the playoffs. Like our goal coming into the season was to make the playoffs as one of those like lower seeded clubs in the West, like the 5 through 9 seed. Um, and I guess like getting that 8 or 9 seed is I guess still possible,
Yeah,
but it just doesn't feel realistic at this point because we can't win any games. Um, so I don't know. For me, it's gonna be tough, but I really think the only path for redemption, obviously, if they made the playoffs, like that would be pretty huge. But I just don't see that happening this season. So I really feel like the only realistic path or redemption for City is through the Open Cup. Like if we can make a run in that, that would be huge. I think that would be like our equivalent of making a run in the Europa League has for like Man United, for example, who are like in 17th or
Yeah.
16th right now. But they had that run, so it kind of saved Amarin's job a little bit. So that to me is like the realistic dream scenario is making it far in that competition. Because if that doesn't happen, like if we lose round of 16, which we probably will to Minnesota, and then we miss the playoffs, that this is just a complete disastrous season. And I
Yeah.
just don't know. Like, I think at that point, like some serious changes are going to have to be made.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I mean, this is really a really tough season, man. I mean, I don't really know. Like, at least last season was entertaining. Going into that second half of that last season,
Yeah,
like post
yeah,
summer transfer window was entertaining. So I hope that hopefully the same happens, but in the summer. But I mean, this is really tough for St. Louis City. Like, we're not in a good spot. We really need to turn things around. That's all I really have. I don't really know what else to say.
yeah. I mean, we. It's going to be interesting to see if City makes any sort of significant changes in the summer transfer window because we obviously spent a lot, made a lot of changes last summer.
Mhm.
So I don't know kind of what the process is. And I will say this as well. We talked about Melberg being on the hot seat. I think the guy that's even on the
Lutz.
even hotter seat is Lutz for sure, because he's been around since the start of this. This was his team that he assembled. Like these are the guys that he wanted, um, even more than like the managers. Because I think Melberg. I saw this somewhere, and maybe this isn't like. Don't take this with a grain of salt because this could have been like some guy on Reddit like just posting this, but um, I saw like Melberg wasn't super happy with the personnel that he was handed, like the players that he was handed with the squad. Because I feel like at one of the press conferences after a loss, he was kind of like, um, I got here, I didn't really have a say in the players that I have, or something along those lines. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see too if the club is kind of like doubles down on Melberg and allows him to kind of make some decisions during this transfer window and kind of outs Lutz. Or what I think realistically would happen is both of them get the axe and we kind of start completely over with a new sporting director and a new manager. But it's going to be interesting to see because I think Lutz, he obviously, it's kind of a meme at this point that he only um, goes for Germanic players, which you know, there's been some talented ones that he's brought in.
Yeah,
Like obviously Berkey and Hartle has been good at times, and Leuven, and I guess Klaus is Brazilian, but he's like
he's still
the most
yeah
German-looking
yeah
Brazilian I've ever seen. But
yeah
I don't know. It's kind of been a meme at this point. But I mean, City have been so dead set on that region, specifically like that Bundesliga,
yeah
kind
like
of like Nordic, Central European region
yeah
for their scouting and their player acquisitions that it has limited them to that specific player pool. And it's just so odd to see. But I think Lutz, while I did think he did obviously that first season, that squad that he assembled was phenomenal, was an all-time squad. Um, and I liked all the moves that he made last summer, but a lot of them haven't really panned out like we would have hoped. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with him because I feel like he's more likely to get fired at this point than I think Melberg. Although I think both of them would get fired if the season continued like it does.
I mean, yeah, bringing up Lutz was a really great point. I mean, yeah, that first season was a complete win, like absolute win from him. I mean, yeah, I going back to the point that you made that like he only signs players from that specific region of Europe, like central to like kind of northern European region. I mean, I completely agree with that. And like there's plenty of players like from like other parts of the world that you can kind of like scout and bring in. Like literally
Yeah.
like we have the whole continent of South America. Like they're known for their flair. Like you have Brazil, like Celio.
Right.
I mean, seeing Jande Silva, who is Portuguese, kind of come on was something different. And I mean, from what I've seen with Jande Silva, I don't think he's that bad. Like, I mean, he didn't really have the greatest of season at Atlanta last year, but he's a good change of pace for this team. Like we're
Mhm.
just so slow. Like I feel like all of our players in general just look so slow. Like I don't know if you like they're I mean they're definitely not. I mean of course, but like the way we play is just so boring and slow. And seeing players like
Mhm.
Jande Silva or like Celio or I mean even like Conrad Valem, who's I think what
He's
Nor
Norwegian.
I mean yeah, but like seeing like these type of players come on and play like the way that they do, they have a sense of flair that like you might not find from just like an average Bundesliga team. You know, if you like
Yeah.
look elsewhere, like you have players in Africa, you have players in Asia, you have players in South America. I mean, there's even players. I mean, North America itself. Like, I mean, the one good thing though that I really do want to talk about actually real quick is Melberg is giving youth players a lot of game time. The biggest beneficiary of this has been Mikey Joyner, who I really like. I
Mhm.
mean, he's a City 2 guy. He's really good on City 2. Like he's really good. But yeah, it's nice to see him actually getting like decent minutes. Like he's carving himself a good amount of time. Like I think the San Diego game he played maybe 20 minutes. I think the game
Yeah.
before he played about 30 minutes ish, 25, 30 ish. Open Cup he did start. No, he might have started, I think. And I mean, yeah, of course. Open Cup. We gotta talk about Zelensky. I mean, he scored that absolute rocket of a
Yeah.
goal from outside of the
Yeah.
box. Like the youth players are getting their chances, they're getting their love, which is something that I really do have to give Melberg his credit for. Which is, I mean, like he's giving youth players a chance. I mean, this guy is coming from one of the biggest academies in Europe. Like when he was managing that team in Sweden. What? Yeah, Sweden, right?
Yeah. Sweden.
Yeah. But yeah, he was coming from that massive 4,000 player academy. You know, it produced players like Jokereich. And like, I mean, so Melberg is familiar with that youth setting, I guess, like using youth players, kind of developing them. So I guess that's the one plus that youth academy is getting better.
Yeah. Joyner has gotten plenty of chances with the squad, and while I don't think he's been super great in the time he's gotten,
Yeah.
it's really nice to see. And that is one of the reasons they brought in Melberg specifically, was to try and get the youth team more involved, because we have a very strong youth team for MLS
Yeah.
standards. So getting some of those players involved, especially Joyner, who seems to be the most promising out of all of them, has been fun to see. And hopefully he could get more adjusted to the league and start to produce more than he has so far. Because that would be a huge story if we could develop a forward that's a productive player in the MLS. That would be really cool to see. Um, but anyway, just kind of to wrap this up, I don't really have too much more to say. We'll probably do another episode after this upcoming match
Yeah.
week. If we wanted to talk a little bit about that, do a little
Yeah.
prediction.
I mean, we got this massive, massive game on Wednesday night. We both will be there. Rivalry
Mm,
game versus Kansas City. And Kansas City currently, as the table stands, we are tied with them at 10 points. So they're currently above us on goal differential, I think.
so
So
as
12th and 13th are going to ham. I mean, the El Asico is happening on Wednesday night. We will be there 7:45 p.m. Central Time. What are your thoughts about this game, Fletcher? Like, in my opinion, I think that this is a huge game, like in a sense for the club, I guess. Like, if we lose this game, I do think that my confidence in this team will dwindle a lot more. Just because, I mean, the schedule
Mhm.
after this is really tough. I think Minnesota, we played Minnesota twice in the same week. Like, I think both teams
Yeah.
are in Minnesota as well. So,
Yep. Yep.
like, it's not going to get better after that because Minnesota is the second best team in the West right now. So, like this, I know we talked about this last time against Sporting Kansas City. This is a must-win game. Like this, I do feel like is a must-win game. Like we're 2-4-6 right now. Like we need a win. Like we need a win.
Yeah, or even more desperate than we were the first time we played
Yeah.
them. And I think at home though, against a pretty weak Kansas team, I do think I like City's chances a little bit here going into this game. It's a huge rivalry game. Obviously, we got absolutely, wrecked the last time we played them. Very demoralizing loss, but we usually fare pretty well against them at home. And I think one of the best ways to kind of jumpstart or revive a season is getting a huge win against your rival, and we have a chance to do that here on Wednesday. So, to me, this is an incredibly important game,
Yeah.
biggest game of the season so far. And I don't know predictions. Yeah, the team hasn't been very good as of recent, but I'm gonna say that City come away with a 3-1 win against Sporting KC.
3-1.
I think we'll have a phenomenal performance. Not phenomenal, but I mean phenomenal for our standards. Probably best game of the season, because our backs are like completely against the wall. Like we're kind of at rock bottom right now, and I just think that like at some point, like something's gonna break, or like the cards are gonna fall our way, and I think it comes in this game, and I think we get a huge win over a pretty terrible Kansas side, and get our first league win in over a month at this point. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna say 3-1 City.
You know, I'm gonna go into this game with like a sense of optimism here for St. Louis City here, hopefully. And I'll go with the 2-0 win. I think a 2-0 win at home would do wonders for this team. And I mean, yeah, as you said, what better way to jumpstart a revival than beating your own rivals at home? And I mean, yeah, I do feel like if we do win this game, it's gonna be huge for our momentum, and hopefully we can carry that into that Minnesota game. But yeah, I think my prediction, I think I'll go with a 2-0 win from City here. I do think that we have what it takes to beat this Kansas City side. They are not much better than us. Like, I mean, this is the same team that literally just beat LA Galaxy without a single shot on target.
Yeah.
What the hell? Like, LA Galaxy is the worst team in the league, and all you do is let them score an own goal. So, I mean, yeah, this is going to be a tough game, though, still. Like, I feel like a rivalry game can go either way, regardless of, like, a team's standings in the league. But, yeah, I do think that St. Louis City has what it takes. So, a 2-0 win. 2-0 win.
Yeah, so I guess we're both a little bit optimistic going into this game. We're both taking wins, even though we just talked about how horrible things are. But
if we lose this game, I will be crashing out next week. Mark my words. But yeah, did you have anything else to add?
Nope.
Yeah, but anyways, thank you so much for watching, guys. This was kind of a rant, just about like going into like the first kind of almost closing in on the first half of the season, actually. Like, we're only, 4 games off. So, yeah, thank you so much for watching. And, yeah, we'll see you after this Kansas City game, hopefully with a win. But, yeah, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.